going into the day, I was filled with a lot of like, this is it. This is the moment that it's all led up to. This is, my final states tournament, my final time to be a state champion, my final time to claim a medal.
I felt very relaxed coming into the state tournament. I mean, having it at home definitely helped out a bit, but being able to lay low and chill out in places that other kids can go. I mean, it helped me keep my head clear and it helped me stay focused to win my matches.
In a weird way, I'm like relieved because I know that I'm gonna be able to get the stress of it over with, because sometimes like the build up to it to the event is like more stressful than the actual event. And so I'm kind of relieved that like knowing that it's going to be done after today.
I was pretty happy that I had to buy first round for sure, because that's less wasted energy that I had to spend beating another kid that was probably the 14 seed or whatever. So it was really nice showing up, looking at brackets, but also kind of nerve-wracking that I have 3 matches and 2 of them are going to be 2 of the hardest matches of the season. So it's going to be, I knew it was going to be a hard day for sure.
Do this for this reason. Where you don't just play a sport just to play a sport. You play a sport to get to these state championship matches or the day or what have you. Like this is what it all comes down to. It's our Super Bowl, if you will. We only got one shot at this, so you got to make it count.
Do a double. Double. You got it. Drop the ball. You go, Nick. It's going to be a quick match. Come on, Nick. Get that Western. Oh. Near side. Near side, Nick.
I was going for like a power half on one side to Western, or I was trying to like stuff that heading, and then you can't really notice much in the wrestling match. Like you're looking out to hear for your coaches, but there's the screams in the stands, and your entire team lined up upon the mat, like just screaming your name, telling you to do a million different things. And I just remember looking to the coach's corner after seeing Coach's Billy face, and Wyatt and my coach were both screaming near side cradle, and then I was like, because I was out to the right of his body, I was like, oh yeah, it is just right there, and I just went for it. I mean, he squirmed out of it, but it was definitely a good call, and I remember being told after the match that it was kind of funny to see, and someone got a good picture or something.
Times where, we're in matches and we hear our coach to say something, we'll respond back because, we're able to actually hear them sometimes. But Ray being the goofy personality that he is, it wasn't surprising, but it was definitely pretty funny.
Not like that. I've had a couple guys like look up and go like, like Adler sometimes like waves me off sometimes where I'm just like, oh, this is there, and he like shakes his head like quick, but he doesn't like look at me. I can tell he's like listening to what I'm saying. Never had a guy look at me and go, and then go into what I think it was a near side cradle what I was telling him. So that was by far pound for pound the funniest moment I've ever had in my wrestling career, both as an athlete and coach. But that's Nick Ray. By this point, if you've seen him enough, you see that's just who he is. He doesn't think when he wrestles. He's very all instincts and things come to him. So I'm glad he's developed like hearing what we're saying and like start trying the moves that we're yelling to him. Because another big strong kid who doesn't look like he's big and strong, but can also wrestle. So yeah, I've never had anybody look at me like that though.
Dig inside.
First time like wrestling. We were like this.
Up. Straight up, Nick.
Keep it on left foot. Right on the left foot. I was kind of
Straight up.
that's how you like go. I was like
Straight up, Nick. Up now. Up now. Get up, Nick. Let's go. Get the heel! Get the heel! No, grab the heel. Scoot back! Skip!
definitely thinking he's coming for me for sure. He knows what we've wrestled 2 other times before then, so it was actually 3 other times before then. So he knew how I wrestled. He knew what I liked. So it's definitely a different game with us because we have learned from each other about what they do. So I was expecting a really tough match, and that's what I got.
Keep wrestling. It's there. It's there. Other side. You're up. You're up. Drag out. What was it? Yes! Settle back. Keep that movement. You got it. You got to step out to the side. No, jump out to the right side. Circle that head. Back behind. Right leg over the head, too.
Dominating might not be the right word for it, but you can definitely tell like Ben blew apart the doors that were the levels that were previously there. Knuckles from Souhegan, again, another tough kid, been wrestling I think his entire life, and is very well coached by the guys out there in Souhegan. But I think Ben just had his number, and we've game planned for him all week. I mentioned it before. We game plan. We usually game plan for like how their day's gonna go. We knew they were gonna be to get to the like that. If you want to get to the finals, you're gonna have to go through Knuckles and the story. So we watched film the entire week and just figured out like, here's what he does, here's what you do, here's what you do in the situation. What's the new look that we can give him? What's the new look that he might give you, and just try to game plan it from there. And honestly, Ben just executed his game plan flawlessly. While he ended up pinning him, and the score didn't look like it was a tougher match, you're always gonna have a tough match with Knuckles and.
None of that. Circle back.
Definitely, he scares everybody, gives all the coaches a heart attack for sure, because he likes to I don't know if he does it on purpose or not, but he gets in the worst position possible and then flips it around to the other guy. So it's very high intensity matches whenever it's close for him because he's flopping back and forth. He's usually stronger than the other kids, so that helps him a lot. But when he's not and he gets in those positions, it's even scarier. But then he flips him right back over, and your heartbeat's going up and down for sure when we're watching him.
It's kind of by design. It makes all my coaches stressed out. It's funny. And my parents. My parents don't really like it, but it's kind of how I choose dress a little bit.
Pull his hip. Reach underneath and run it. Hold the hip.
It was nice and relieving. It was good knowing that no matter what happened, I was going to MOCs. Whereas if I had lost and was wrestling for third, I still wouldn't know, and that'd be an extra layer of stress. So it kind of helped relieve me and helped me just focus on my finals match instead of focusing on MOCs.
Ben and Joe are more like veterans of the program as well. You know, they've been here since arguably freshman, sophomore year. So I think it was very well deserved. They both put in a lot of work this year, and they were both, you know, really going for that first place medal. And seeing them both make the finals, you know, I was very proud of both of them because knowing how they were when they first came to New Hampshire from Idaho and seeing where they are now, it's a big improvement, and I'm hoping to see more strides made next year.
Felt like the McDowell family was representing on the mat for sure. It was really fun to see because he's been my wrestling partner for 13 years that I've had him, so it's really awesome to see both of us come up together and do so well in a state tournament.
As I did feel in control, you're always going to be nervous before a wrestling match, no matter who the opponent is. I mean, it's a wrestling match, anything can happen. You're never guaranteed to win. So, I mean, my first match, kind of knew I had that one in the bag. But then following two, I had to stay sharp. I had to stay focused. I just was patient with my my wrestling, and when opportunity struck, I took it. A neutral match. He and I were battling up head to head, looking for our shots. I know he's a strong kid, and I was very cautious what I was doing. And probably around a minute 30 in, he took a shot, and I was able to slide behind him, and we kind of fell on top of each other in a rolling position. And it looked like a scramble, but I was able to, grab his head and be able to pin him on the mat, just throw him over me and get my hips up. So I was just able to pin him. And as soon as I heard the ref slam the mat that I pinned him, I was hyped. I was very excited because I was expecting that match to be a pretty rough one, and I was expecting it to go 6 minutes. So being able to have an opportunity where I was able to get the win that fast, it felt really good. It felt really good.
It was a good matchup for him. Bolio from Lebanon's a very tough kid. Naturally strong, naturally built. And I know he's been gunning for Adler all season. Like Adler, we've talked about 1,000 times on here before. Like Adler is, everybody's top gun this year. Like that's the kid that they want to be. So he knew going into it, he was probably going to be matched up with Bolio at the end. It was going to be them two sitting at the final. But I know how nervous he was because I think there's like that weird expectation. You're a state champ last year. You have all this riding on you this year. How do you perform, especially under a bigger, brighter light, if you will? More people in the gym, more people know who you are. How do you perform? And that pin, to pin him in the first period and look that dominant doing it, I think just speaks to like there's levels to this, and I think Adler Mora is at the top of those levels. And this isn't a slight on Bolio. I just think that he's just head and shoulders above where everybody else is in this division. But if you watch the kid work, there's a reason why he is the top dog. He doesn't take a go off. He doesn't take a sprint off. He can wrestle sick. He can wrestle hurt. He can wrestle. He can do whatever. He's just like the complete wrestler. And I'm honestly privileged just to be a part of the ride with him. Like he's just one of the best wrestlers I've ever been around. Plain and simple.
I mean, compared to last year, there's a lot more kids on the team, so definitely there was a more welcoming response. I had a lot more teammates being able to pat me on the back, give me a hug, whatever it was. But it felt good because there's not many times where I can go out there and really be proud of what I did because I hold myself to such a high standard. But it was really nice to be able to win again and be able to defend my title.
Like in the finals, I mean, a million different emotions. It was it felt great just knowing that I made it this far and this was the moment, do or die, go until you faint. And I feel like I put up a really, really strong, solid fight, probably the best I could.
So then when he put him on his back and got, 4 points in total and it was tied 6-6, I looked at why. I was like, is that right? And he had to look at our manager who was right there with the book, and she was like, yep, no, that's 100% right. And I really thought it was like a 10-6 match just because Harrington is an absolute beast. Like he's such a good wrestler. And I go on and on about how good I think Harrington is from Pelham. Then you realize you're going into overtime. You're like, holy crap, he's one takedown away from winning a state title right now. Like that's insane. So I had to flip my switch from being concerned that the score was right to like, holy, like, oh, we're back in this thing. Like it's a 0-0 match essentially. So.
slam at the beginning, but I managed to work my way back up, get my points, so it was tied. And then in overtime, I went for a sweep single on the right, and sadly, I lost control at the moment. But I mean, Mike Harrington's a good opponent. I can't really blame myself for that. Good guy. But just being like standing up for overtime, standing up on the line, and just the nerves, all of it, and just for it all to go away as the whistle's blown one last time, to try, shoot, do or die, go for it all.
After their match in the middle of the season, you know, I think Ray was maybe a little down on himself, but I know that he was ready to go. So when it was time for his finals match on Saturday, there was no doubt in my mind that he couldn't win that match. And, you know, coming so close yet so far from being able to win, it sucks. But I know Ray gave it 110%, and I'm so proud of him and everything he's done.
I faced him last year, and I lost, sadly. But this year, I want to say that I put up a lot better of a fight. And, I mean, I left it all on the mat, plain and simple. I fought for it, and it wasn't enough, but I'm glad it could have ended the way it did.
It's kind of the intensity of, oh, it's almost my turn. It keeps rising till the whistle blows, and you forget everybody's there, and it's just you and that guy. So it's a lot. The intensity just keeps building and building until you're like psyched out for your match, and then whistle blows and it's all gone. It's a crazy feeling. I love being under the light and having everybody watch me though. It's such a good feeling.
Your champion from Campbell, Logan Allaire.
I performed pretty well. I definitely didn't hold back because of like, I was just, well, I guess I really worked even though I was tired, is I guess what I'm trying to say. I was able to kind of work through that, although I was pretty exhausted at the end, as anyone who watched my match could probably tell. So I'm glad that I was able to work all 6 minutes because he got a couple really tight holds on me, but I was able to not get pinned. So I'm proud of that. So I think that part of it went pretty well. I think that I should have been more aggressive, attacking from neutral, but I don't know, it is what it is.
Every time he took Joe down, he let him right back up, and he went right back to it. So I think, there's there's the levels talk again. Like, all right, Joe, we know you can put yourself to your back and then throw anybody over because you're just stronger than everybody else who you wrestle. But now we got to figure out ways for you to beat guys like that. And it's not like a lack of effort, right? It's just like we got to put a couple more tools in your toolbox.
And your champion from Bo, Adler Mora. Your runner-up from Bo, Nick Gray. And your champion from Pelham, Michael Harrington. Your runner-up from Bo, Bentley Dowell. In third place from Pelham, Bill Nichols. Your runner-up from Bo, Joe McDowell. And your champion from Pelham, Matthew Leary. Placing third from Bo, Wallace Jones. Your runner-up from
Everyone came a long way this season, some more than others, but I mean, it was probably like halfway through the tournament when we realized that we were kind of lagging behind. And Coach Billy gave us all a pep talk, all for us to get our heads in the game and reminding us what we did to get to where we are. And everyone just kind of snapped back into focus. We were able to pick up some wins. And for the kids who, weren't able to get as many wins this season, being able to perform well at the state tournament, it was definitely very impressive. I mean, some kids like, Herbie and Maddox, they didn't get a lot of wins this season, and they go to the state tournament, they're grabbing, at least 2 wins, helping to build that team score, and it's really helpful.
And I'm going to run down the team scores for you. That's our last award tonight. Congrats to everybody. Thank you so much for being patient and hanging with us all day. White Mountains had 7, Newport 13, Monadnock 16, Kingswood 20, Stevens 22, Campbell 44, Conval 45, Brandon 53, Kearsarge 53. In 8th place, Mascoma was 60. 7th place, Winnebago was 66. 6th place, Lebanon was 70. 5th place with 87 points, Souhegan. 4th place with 99 points, Pelham. Placing 3rd with 101 points, John Starr. Your Division 3 runner-up with 125.5 points, Bo.
honestly unbelievable. I'm a big positive person. I think you can see that. Like I try to think like best case scenario, but prepare for the worst, just because you never know. I know what the talent that walks around this school. I know more importantly what the talent that we have on our team. When you look at the way we stack up against other D3 schools, I firmly believe we're at the top, top one or top two of those. Plymouth is always going to be tough. They're always going to be Plymouth, but it was nice to know like we're hanging with them, and we're only behind them by, from the score of it was like 37.5 points. It's not a very large gap between first and second in the rest of the world at least. That's just having the full lineup. It's having a 106 that does well, or 113 that does well, or 285 that does well, and that's where you make up those points. I couldn't be more proud of these guys though. Like realistically, could not be any happier for how they performed. The kids bounced back and they wrestled the way they're supposed to wrestle, and we have a plaque to prove it.